Anhedonia, apathy, and happiness. Anhedonia. Woody Allen's film Annie Hall is a romantic comedy that won 4 Academy Awards including Best Director. When I first saw this movie on TV, I was completely shaken. It left such a deep impression on me that I became a huge fan of Woody Allen. I even had a poster of Annie Hall hanging in my room until I got married. This witty and insightful film originated as a longer 2-hour and 30-minute rough draft full of ideas under the working title Anhedonia. The word Anhedonia is derived from Greek. The prefix an means negative or without, and hedon refers to pleasure. The suffix ia indicates a state or condition. Together, anhedonia literally means the inability to feel pleasure or loss of enjoyment. This condition is often associated with depression, schizophrenia, addiction, stress disorders, and other mental health issues. It is characterized by a patient's inability to find joy in everyday activities or hobbies, resulting in a diminished sense of pleasure in life. The hedonism paradox. The term hedonism refers to the pursuit of pleasure and is also known as Epicureanism, named after the ancient Greek philosopher Epicurus. There's a concept called the hedonism paradox, which suggests that pursuing happiness can paradoxically make one unhappier. Utilitarian philosopher John Stuart Mill famously said, "Ask yourself if you are happy, and you cease to be so." Happiness, as many thinkers have noted, often slips through our fingers the harder we try to grasp it. It is not a direct goal, but rather a byproduct of living life well, a serendipitous reward, as described in the Socrates Express. If you look at Woody Allen's films, you'll see that he is constantly questioning happiness, sadness, and the self. Perhaps this is why he created a film about being desensitized to happiness. In the movie, when Diane Keaton's character talks about the positive outcomes of her psychiatric treatment, Woody Allen's character protests, "I've been in therapy for 10 years. I'm just starting to get to the root of my issues. How can you see results so quickly?" Spoiler alert. Did 10 years of chasing happiness lead to anhedonia? In Annie Hall, played by Diane Keaton, Alvy, played by Woody Allen, who is endlessly searching for love and happiness, loses Annie because of his inability to see beyond his own perspective. After they break up, he longs for her like a lost bluebird, realizing too late what he has lost. Apathy. In psychiatry, a term similar to anhedonia is apathy. While anhedonia specifically refers to an inability to experience pleasure, apathy describes an overall absence of emotional engagement or interest. Apathy is a common non-motor symptom of Parkinson's disease, characterized by a lack of motivation, interest, or emotional response. It is often presented with a typical masked facial expression of Parkinson's disease. It can significantly affect quality of life and is often mistaken for depression, though the two are distinct conditions. Managing apathy in Parkinson's often involves a combination of therapy, medication adjustments, and support from caregivers. The two conditions often overlap but are distinct in focus. Anhedonia is the inability to feel pleasure or enjoyment from activities that are typically rewarding, often linked to mood disorders like depression. Apathy, on the other hand, refers to a lack of motivation, interest, or emotional engagement, which can occur in conditions like schizophrenia, dementia, or after brain injuries. While anhedonia is about losing pleasure, apathy is more about losing drive or interest. Interestingly, this lack of emotional engagement can sometimes be induced by selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, SSRIs, a common class of antidepressants. Both anhedonia and apathy remind us of the complex interplay between emotion, mental health, and our pursuit of happiness, which can sometimes lead us down paradoxical paths. Written by Hyung-Suk Choi, professor teaching medical terminology and history, with a PhD from CHA Medical University and author of works exploring medical language and history.